Good evening, you handsome lot. And as you can see, I've got a Discovery Sport on the ramp and it isn't very well. Now, customer complaining, starts it up, went to put it into drive, bing, comes up on the dash, gearbox fault. So I went and had a little look at it, plugged it in, and I'll show you the fault code that we got for it now. It's not very good. And this is what's happening inside the car. Doesn't matter what I do, I cannot twist that button, even with the dashboard flashing up. We've done a full diagnostic report and we are getting hydraulic pressure sensor signal circuit intermittent. When you start the car up and you go to select drive, you almost like, I don't know whether you lot are going to know, but almost like when a thrust bearing's gone on a car, it goes wee, like a high-pitched noise, and that's what that vehicle's sounding like when you try and select gear. I think we need to get this vehicle up in the air and have a little look at the condition of the oil. Before I take it up in the air and I turn the ignition off, I just want to listen, want you lot to have a little listen to this. I'm going to put my mic in the other wheel arch and you hear it like a grinding noise. Doesn't sound too good, does it? With the vehicle up in the air, belly pan removed, I've jumped onto technical information, which is all data, and we're going to have a little look to see how many litres this gearbox is meant to take before we remove it. And it is 6.5, but what? Normal maintenance, it's filled for life. So you don't really need to change it, but severe duty maintenance, changing it every 30,000 miles. Yeah, 30,000 miles. Now, a lot of people don't know your gearbox oil must be changed, especially automatics. I'm going to get a receptacle now and make sure that it's big enough to catch what's in that gearbox, and just make sure that we've got the right amount. Right, well, I've now got the oil out. It's not as bad as what I thought it would be. We have a little look. It probably is hard for you to see on the camera, but there's lots of like glitter in it, little metal filings. We need to get this box out. Now, I'm led to believe that this vehicle has had a timing chain replacement not long after he bought the vehicle. Now, I'm not even going to try and undo them dry shaft nuts because they see solid in the dry flange. What I'm going to do is just grab my brush now on the drill and give the tracker ends and the anti-roll bars a little bit of a clean so everything comes off nice and easy. I'm not going to lie, this is an absolute miracle. The bottom ball joint pinch bolts have come out. Might as well put the lottery numbers on. Anyway, to pull the bottom ball joints out of the hubs to make it a lot easier for myself, pickle suspension arm tool. Absolutely dreamy tool. Saves a lot of time and a lot of faffing about. Well, I think we are in a position where we can go ahead and get the subframe off. There's various sensors on the exhaust that you've got disconnect. It just goes over there. Exhaust rubber, and also the wiring harness for the steering rack and God knows what. Just unplugs there on the top of the gearbox, just by there. And then we can get this subframe off, I think. Yeah, let's get it off. Well, that is one subframe now off, and we have got lots of room underneath. Subframe is down there, out of the way. You don't want to be tripping over it. And the bolts, try and keep them in order, and in piles left, and right of the vehicle. Right, all I'm going to do now is just let that coolant drain overnight, and we will pick up this job in the morning. Well, we are back at it, and we are feeling minteroonie after a good night's sleep. Now, I think what we need to do, we finished getting the subframe off last night, coolant out of it. We're going to make a start on getting all the battery tray, airbox, and some intake pipes out of the way. A tiny little bit of progress has been made. We've removed the battery tray, the upper and the lower gearbox mount. We've removed a couple of the bell housing bolts, the charge pipe around the top of the gearbox, the charge cooler, lots of little bits and bobs that have had to come off. We are getting some big piles now. Engine support is now on, and I've had to just take these little brackets off for the bonnet struts and secure the bonnet with a little bit of a ratchet strap. Now you can get these from Pickle Tools. Brilliant. Right, I think we can get this vehicle up in the air and do everything from underneath. I think before we go any further, I just want to tell you lot how stupid these vehicles are getting. It's just, look at this, right? Look at this. Got to get this bracket off. Get the transfer box off. Get the bracket off, you've got to take the drive shaft off. For the drive shaft to come out, you've got to take it out the hub. But unfortunately, as per usual, the drive shaft sees in the drive flange, so you've got to take that off, pull it off the shock absorber, and if it just round now, this is just, it's not very often that I moan about a job. And I'm not saying it's a hard job. It's just overcomplicated, and there's just no need for it whatsoever. Anyway, let's go ahead now and get this bracket off. Slowly but steadily we are getting there. One transfer case off. I've undone the majority of the bell housing bolts underneath now. I've just left that one in there. And then what we're going to do with the starter motor out of the way, we can just undo the torque converter bolts through here. Now I have undone 3 of them. I've got 1 left, as you can see. We're going to get that bolt out, and then I hope, if we've done everything and disconnected everything, this gearbox should come out. I tell a lie, there was actually 6 bolts in that torque converter. But anyway, we've undone them now, and it is spinning nice and freely, so we can get a transmission jack underneath the gearbox, and undo that last bolt, and then it is out. Just like that, that gearbox is now out. Tell you what, I'm not going to lie, that is one heavy gearbox. But anyway, here we go. The brand spanking new gearbox. Well, I've just been to pick it up on my lunch. So, you do not want to know how much that is. That is scary price. Well, with a little bit of a struggle and a couple of hands from the lads here, Big Steve on the muscles, we've managed to get this gearbox on the transmission jack. Now, I have got to take this little securing plate off the torque converter before we fit it, because the last thing I'm going to do is put this gearbox in and that still be on. Eh? Imagine that. Imagine that, eh? Now we can put this little plate back on the old gearbox, because that has got to go back for a surcharge. Let's go ahead now and get this gearbox mounted back to this engine. I hope it goes in as easy what it did. As easy as that Audi one did. The reason why it shouldn't, as long as we're careful. It should just plonk straight in. A little bit of a jiggity pokery. Just have to watch we don't catch a torque converter and pull it out, because that's the last thing we want to do. I tell you what, this has been an awkward little bugger, this is. What a palaver that was. Anyway, my strap that I'd put on, it was just pulling the gearbox too much on a bit of an angle. This is, I'm going to have to invest in a new transmission jack, one where I can adjust the head a little bit, the cradle. Right, let's get this gearbox bolted up. All the bell housing bolts are tight now. I'm moving around to the torque converter. Now they are 60 Newton meters. I'm going to be using the new Pickle torque wrench. Can you see the part number on it? 68 to 340 Newton meters. Absolutely such an epic tool. This now, it's probably second time you're using it. You can download everything off this to a computer, so you can keep it for your records if needs must. But it's just awesome tool. This is perfect. Well, all the bell housing bolts are back on, torqued up to spec. Torque converter's torqued up. Starts motors back on. Now I've just dropped the vehicle down, put the gearbox mount on, all torqued up. Everything's torqued. If it's got torque specs, it's going to get torqued. We like to do things properly. I think we are now in a position that we can get everything underneath bolted back up. Everything that side is done and bolted back up into the chassis, so we can go ahead now and get it built up. I'm not going to bore you. We're just going to get on with it. I tell you what, if it was only that easy to put back together. But anyway, now we've got the brand new gearbox. It needs programming and stuff. But however, I have got Launch X-Prog, and I've got it coupled up to the transmission control module, and we were just reading all the information off it right now, and then we're going to clone it onto the brand new one. Right, well, I've pulled all the information off this old gearbox module. We plugged the brand new one in. I've backed up DPROM, restored DPROM into that one, and we're just going to restore the flash back into it, which is that one there. Click on that, and that is just going to do its magic. That brand new module is back on that gearbox, and I've just chucked the battery in there. Now it's all done as it should be. If we go and put the ignition on, we should get some lights on the gear knob there. Beautiful. Next thing, getting that gearbox filled. A little bit of a plot twist with this vehicle. Now, this gearbox has come full of oil. Now, I rung the people who got the gearbox off, and they have got in contact with Landrover, and they don't know whether it's like a transport fluid, whether it's the right fluid. So they've strongly advised me to drain it out and put some fresh fluid in it. So that is what I'm doing. Now, there's a little bung right at the top of the gearbox. You're taking out a little funnel, and we're going to get it filled up, get it up to temperature, check the level. It's the right faff. It's the right faff. As you can see, we have now put some oil in it, and that vehicle is now running. Now, we've got to wait until it gets up to in between 35 and 45 degrees, and then we can take the bung out, the fill level at the side of the gearbox, and see if any's pouring out. If it's pouring out, we've got to wait till it stops, and if nothing comes out, we've got to top it up until it does come out. That makes sense. And there we have it. That car now is all boxed off and pretty much finished. Give all the plastics a little bit of a clean. Wheels are torqued up. Gearbox level is absolutely perfect. And last but not least, I'm just going to jump in the car now. We're going to clear all the adaptions for the new gearbox on the diag, and we're going to take it down the road and relearn it all. Right, well, we are out and about in the car. We've reset all the adaptions. We're learning the gearbox now. You've got to drive it in sport, go through all the gears, pretty much do as it says on the screen, and everything is good to go. The car's driving absolutely perfectly, believe it or not. But why do we need 9 gears in a gearbox? Is there any need? There's no need at all, is it? But I tell you what, this weather has taken a little bit of a turn for the worse, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I'm going to go out in this car now for a good half an hour, I think. Make sure everything's perfect, and we can get back to the garage and give it the sign off, I think. See you in a bit. Test drive is now complete. Now, I'm happy with everything. The vehicle is driving absolutely perfect. There's no knocks, bumps, anything. We've got 0 fault codes, and I'm more than happy. Now, this vehicle, it was being done under a warranty. Dave turned around and gone, yeah, put a new box in. That's what it's had, new box. But yeah, luckily for this customer that it's being covered. But again, I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's been a little bit long-winded, but I hope you enjoy it. No doubt I'm going to get people saying, oh, you could have done it this way, you could have done it that way. It is what it is. But yeah, I've enjoyed doing it. Yeah, I hope you lot have enjoyed me fixing this vehicle. If you have, and you've made it this far in the video, please hit that like and subscribe, and I will definitely see you on the next one. Let's get a sim.
Just wanna pack up my things and go. Just wanna be free, just wanna zone. Just wanna flow, just wanna hang with the gang, but sometimes chill on my own. Just wanna do me, just wanna doze. Just wanna live in